we shouldn't be spending the money until we get it. Secondly, anything that we bond, we're going to have to pay money out for the debt service on it. So that's money that could go to SPLOST projects. If the citizens don't come out and vote for this and don't support it and it doesn't pass, how urgent is the CAD system? Are we going to raise the taxes to make that happen? No. We're just going to try to figure out how to...
We'll just spend more money keeping it repaired.
Well, I'm just saying. So, none of these projects are, oh my God, turn the boiler off, it's boiling over. So, we can I suggest we prioritize these projects that we have, and if the CAD system is the #1 project under the county's things that they want to do, then we, as our money comes in, that we pay that off first, or we fix it first. I just think when you look at it on the other side, are we going to have $1 million to add to some other SPLOST projects because we're going to borrow this money to pay off the debt, which in my head is just totally foreign? Or are we just going to wait to see how the collection come in and pay off what we need to pay off or purchase what we need to purchase as the money comes in? I just don't agree with bonding because I think that it takes money out of the ability for us to have more projects. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Ray?
I would like to recommend, and I would make a motion to add two, let me get this thing back up here. Add to the splash $4,135,783 debt service payoff for Oxford Square in the amount of $835,000. Correctional institution in the amount of $1,285,000. LB Norton Station, $815,243. And the equipment leases that we're now under in the amount of $1,200,540,000 for, again, a total debt of $4,135,783. And freeing and paying off the debt service of Spalding County, we would be able to free up cash flow within the Spalding County government. We would be able to offer a possible millage rate back to the taxpayers for paying this debt off. That would also leave us some room where we could increase funds into the reserve of Spalding County to build it back up, since it's been dangerously low, and we've talked about that. So I would like to make that as a motion as stated.
Could I ask, what would, if you just on the equipment leases, if it was just like the fire trucks, how much would that?
Mr. Chairman,
we have a motion, we have to get a second, don't we?
I'll second the motion. Never have before, but we'll do it that way this time.
Okay. As you and I discussed yesterday, of that $1.2 million, some of that is for the fire trucks and the recent fire truck purchase. The other are the annual leases that we have. Upon our discussion yesterday, we're always going to have to buy 10 or 12 cars a year for the Sheriff's Department from now on. So if we pay off that debt service, it will come back next year, because we're going to be buying cars for the Sheriff's Department in perpetuity. That's just the way it is. And so I would recommend that we pay off the fire apparatus and all of the buildings that were mentioned, but leave the other, and I believe that total will come to...
Leases, what would that
leave the equipment leases
out of it?
Out of it.
Okay.
Except for the fire trucks, which was, because they're very, very, very expensive. $430,000.
So you would take $430,000 out?
Take the take $800,000 out of the 4.1, so roughly $3,300,000.
And I'll amend my motion as to the final price
And
adjusted.
I will accept the amendment, since I made the second.
Wait for discussion.
Now we have discussion.
Okay, discussion, okay. Just to be clear, that if we do the pay-as-you-go, we're looking at potentially, you said four, is it 4 point what million?
The total figure would be,
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Pay as you go,
Right.
what, I don't,
The monies that would actually, instead of bonding, if we do the pay-as-you-go, we're looking at an additional what? How much are we looking at?
How much would we save using pay-as-you-go versus bonding?
Where's it
I can't,
at? Okay.
I can't give you that number because I don't know what the debt service will be. We haven't decided what the grand
I
total
understand.
bonding would be,
Okay.
so
All right.
I can't really give you that number.
Once again, I don't mind some of that going toward debt service. I think that's very important. But also, I mean, something that hadn't been discussed and something I have been thinking about anyway, I think I mentioned a couple of you. So I would like to see some of that also maybe set aside to Park and Recs or potentially some type of sports complex for our youth as well at some given point in time. I would like to see that. And I would like to make that recommendation if it's possible.
Well,
I don't, go ahead,
are you trying to amend the motion that's on the floor?
No, this is just for discussions, but potentially, you know,
Okay.
to see.
You're not asking them to amend the
Right.
motion on that now? Okay.
So, what did you say the motion was you want to,
I'll restate. To pay for debt service payoff in the amount of $835,000 for Oxford Square, $1,285,000 for the correctional institution, $815,243, bless you, for the LB Norton Station, and for the equipment leases, reduce that to $430,000 for the adjusted for the adjusted final figure of what, $3.3 million?
$3,350,000.
$3,400,000.
$3,400,000, that's good.
That would be the final after the discussion.
Any other discussion?
yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So, if I understand this motion is correct, this is a project that Commissioner Ray wants us to consider as a county project in our SPOS list, this debt payoff, correct?
Yes.
It was a subcommittee recommendation, not a Mr. Ray recommendation.
No, I mean your motion.
Is my motion.
And William, you said that the 2 fire trucks were over $400,000.
The remaining debt service for fire trucks is around $430,000.
Okay, and the equipment leases, you think that the equipment leases we have it comes up to that difference of $700,000 or $800,000 for those vehicles?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Do we have anything else other than approximately 12 vehicles from the sheriff's department that we're on a lease to purchase?
Yes, ma'am. There's probably 15 or 20 leases running from vehicles to computer systems to the furniture and fixtures at the senior center to primarily vehicles or large purchases, not small stuff.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Ray?
William, I did the math on the numbers, and it equals $3,375,243.
3.4 million will be great.
Any other discussion on the motion? All right, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 3.
Repeat what you were talking about. Now, I think y'all get throwing all these numbers out, and I'm sitting here trying to subtract and add, and I didn't
We're
get.
talking about debt payoff, debt service payoff for Oxford Square, $835,000, the correctional institution, $1.285 million, LB Norton Station, $815,243, and equipment leases, $340,000. $430,000 for a grand total of $3.4 million.
Correct.
This is strictly county.
This is strictly county.
And is that to issue bonds for that?
Well, I think we were gonna, then y'all suggest listing the
Okay.
projects and then go
Okay,
back
that's
and do
fine.
the bond.
That's fine.
Decide what, so this is just deciding on whether we're gonna bond it or pay as you go or anything like that. This is just county project.
County project.
Yeah.
That we will not go back in debt if we pay off this debt.
That's gonna be up to those that are on the board at that time when they vote on things to decide whether they wanna go back into debt.
Well, you got
I won't
time, so
be
tell me
here.
what you gonna, I mean.
I won't be
You won't
here.
vote anything next 6
So
months.
it'll be up to you. I won't be here. I'll put that monkey on your back. All right, everybody understand the motion now? All right, those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. 4, those opposed? 1. All right. I'm gonna step out for just a second, Mr. Ray, if you want.
Well, while he steps out, you want to wait? Y'all want to take a break?
You want to take a 5-minute?
That wouldn't hurt.
5 minute break, Lee. Put your signs down for a second. Take a break.